Hello everyone, I'm Forrest McFreelove, and this is Mayan Speedplay number 31. We left off at peace, having taken over a decent portion of East Africa. We go ahead and turn on a couple of forts over by the Ottomans, in part because we have a potential Venetian revolt. We also are just shipping all of our troops more or less to the coasts, just so that transports can pick them up. We go ahead and turn Tunis and Grenada into marches, because it drops their liberty desire about 15%, although they are still rather almost exactly 100% liberty desirous. So that doesn't really help us very much at the moment. Hopefully it will later on. But yeah, once again, not so much right now. We go ahead and mess around with trade for a moment, just trying to find out what sort of trade routes we could probably invest in. We go ahead and collect in the Cape of Good Hope, just because we have the most trade power there, and a lot of trade does get siphoned to the area. I don't believe it actually ends up helping us whatsoever, though, so we'll probably switch that around in the next episode. At any rate, we do go ahead and start dropping off our forces in North Africa. We've got a good 4 armies right there, and the plan is basically to declare war on the Ottoman Empire, who just lost a large portion of their Balkan Empire. So we go ahead and just move our navy into position, and we are at basically full military power, so we invest in manpower some places. I realize that we're going to have to increase or turn on some forts in Africa and just fight some rebels in Tunis. Hopefully that'll make Tunis like us at least somewhat. Alright, with that all said and done, we're going to ship our troops right on back, get that troop group that we had in Brazil over to East Africa. We do declare the war and start marching our forces against the Ottoman Empire. We win the first naval battle, detach our wounded, and go back to just waiting in blockade. And the transports, which aren't really going to be used for anything, get filled all throughout the area, just as a way to, just maintain control. We get attacked by their transports, or our transports get attacked by their ships, and we lose 4, so we go ahead and just raise 4 mercenary groups to replenish them, although I am a little sad that we took any losses whatsoever. Now it looks like the Ottomans are coming to attack us. We filled 2 armies into transports. And what we're going to do is just drop them right before the battle starts when they're committed, and just put all of our best leaders on. Now we have all 4 armies, they attack, and it just does not go very well at all for them. It is still kind of a very bloody battle, and a lot of troops are lost on either side, although more of their troops than ours, which is a very good thing. We also roll through. They had a few reinforcement armies coming up, more colonization, and it looks like even the reinforcement army just gets smashed by our forces. We only had 3 of our 4 involved in that one, since the other one went back to heal and just kind of reinforce. Alright, there we go. We are just rolling on through North Africa now. It looks like there are some Iraqi forces as well as Ottomans. We do charge up to reinforce our troops. We bring that one wounded group up as well. It looks as though we don't need it, and we win the battle. And alright, so more of that. We'll just keep going. They have been bringing their forces to bear against us quite a bit. We stack wiped a small force. And we are just gunning up and through. We are now in formerly Mamluk Egypt. We're going to just split all of these forces up, but keep them close by. And go ahead and check their manpower reserves, which are decently low now. Alright, Ottoman forces are coming back. They do still have a very large army. They can almost certainly also hire a lot of mercenaries. So this war is nowhere near over. And these battles are rather large. We do win that one, though, and get attacked in the south and stack wipe the force attacking us down there. So that's pretty great. More investments in military power, more investments in colonies. We're going to just try to colonize up all of South America. And alright, so we are just gunning forward, sieging out major cities. In East Africa, we're going to just go ahead and split our force and siege them out as best we can. And meanwhile, just avoid losing any armies to the Ottoman forces as they show back up. I believe we had a revolt, so we're going to try. Unfortunately, we can't build another army group since we don't have enough available mercenaries, which I guess is a risk when you make your entire infantry corps out of mercenaries. It's also a very expensive thing to do, but money has never really been the issue. We also fight a very large rebellion in East Africa. Now that we've made peace with Mombasa, we do win it, thankfully. A lot of Ottoman forces are charging up. We may have gone a little out of position putting that force there. Luckily, we had enough troops near-ish enough to them that we do win the battle in the long run. Alright, so that's very lucky. And alright, that all said and done, we're just back to just moving the lines slightly forward. Our estates are a little bit of a problem right now, so we do go ahead and just look around for how we can deal with them. And yeah, with that all said and done, we just move our forces up even further and start looking at what sort of peace deal we can make. We could get all of their North African coast and Greece, give most of it to Tunis, keep the Suez bits for ourselves. And yeah, they won't accept that at all right now. Our war goal is imperialism, so we need to take their capital, which is at basically the opposite end of their country as our forces, which is a little problematic if we're trying to get a short war. Instead, this will just be a long, grinding war where we slowly grind the Ottoman forces down into the dirt. Speaking of doing that, though, you'll notice that we are winning these battles. That one was a little closer than the last couple, although we did still win, and that's significant. We also didn't bring in the entirety of our fourth force. Colonization continues. We now control the wastelands of South America. And we also have to carry our troops in East Africa, more likely than not over to Australia, where a revolt is imminent. These forces, though, are continuing forward. We've managed to successfully conclude that siege of Mayan, which is great because now we get to move them over to maybe Cyprus. Hopefully we will be able to win this battle. We do drop off those troops that we had just put onto ships, and we win the battle pretty handedly. So we're going to just go ahead and carry some troops over to Cyprus so we can knock them out of the war, take their territory, and hopefully by the time things are cored in Cyprus, we'll be willing to make peace with the Ottomans. We also get another revolt in East Africa. We do deal with that very quickly. And there is an Ottoman revolt that we have to put down. Now at this point, we are in a maybe unfortunate position since we did kind of use a lot of our army strength taking out those rebels from the Ottomans. We also now go ahead and ship that army over to Australia. Alright, so these forces are a little bit underpowered. The Ottomans do try another attack. Unfortunately, we don't really have very much in the way of spare forces, which is actually very problematic, and we do lose that battle. Unfortunately, one group just retreated right there where the Ottomans follow them immediately. The other forces, luckily though, retreat to the coast, and we're able to put them on ships and carry them over to our islands where they will reinforce at full speed. We also do manage to finish the siege of Cyprus, which will hopefully quickly turn into us annexing Cyprus. So then we'll get all of our armies back into position, back into the fight. It is terribly unfortunate that that occurred in the way it did. They're even attacking our navy now, which is really problematic now that we just put all of our armies onto islands. Luckily, we take two of the armies and put them back into North Africa's coast and move with them to attack the Ottoman force in Cairo. Meanwhile, we do worry about raising autonomy in a few areas just to prevent revolts now that we really don't have the troops to deal with everything everywhere. And we stack wipe the first Ottoman army and just destroy, but don't stack wipe the second. We get a rebellion in Australia, which we're ready to deal with. And we go ahead and build up a group of something like 38 new warships, because we lost that naval battle. We do not have naval superiority any longer, which is pretty bad because one of our armies is stuck near Greece, where they can't really help anyone else. So that's problematic, in as many words. Luckily, our force from Australia will be able to come up and reinforce, bringing us back up to 4 armies against the Ottomans. We only lost a battle against them when we had 3 armies, so having 4 again by any means should be just as good, quite frankly. Alright, so all of this is going on still. We are bringing forces up. It looks as though we will be able to just smash headlong into that group. We do that. We can get our forces on the other ships. We manage to cross over into Greece, and we will just keep moving forward. It looks as though we'll be able to do it at least somewhat successfully. They are bringing in a large group over there. We reinforce everything, 4 armies against their forces, and luckily we do win. Or I guess that was 3 armies because the other one was away fighting rebels, which was also an issue we had faced. But it looks like we managed to overcome it. So that is very good news. They do have revolutionaries just roving through their North African portions. We're just going to let that happen. We do get a slight increase in revolt risk, and it looks like they're just gunning for our sieging forces, but we can just rush after them, and we do win that. So despite a minor setback, it looks as though we are moving forward against the Ottomans, at least at a decent clip. Our forces are just moving up. We do upgrade them, so I moved back. The Ottomans also take that advantage to just attack us. Luckily, we do win anyway. Although that was a bit of a close-knit thing and kind of a poor choice on my part to both split our forces up and upgrade them. We also are using our navy tacitly, which is allowing us more access with our troops in Greece. It looks like the Ottomans are coming to attack us again, so we go ahead and rush our forces up. However, that makes them reconsider, so we rush back. More colonization as we fill out South America. It looks like they have decided against attacking us and attacked us again and lost. So you would think that all of these battles that the Ottomans have fought against us and just lost out loud would have done more to lower their war score. However, it appears they don't really mind losing all of North Africa, and hopefully they will mind losing Anatolia as we rush into that. They've also lost Greece. So they're really not in the best place as far as, the empire is concerned. And we are just moving deeper and deeper in. Eventually we will get to their capital, not in too very long. And once that happens, I imagine the whole edifice will just kind of break down. We also are almost certainly getting them a lot of war exhaustion just from all the sieges being taken over, all of the territories they've lost control of. They are, however, still raising mercenary forces, which is keeping them in the fight as they run out of manpower. Also, since we just upgraded our admin tech, we can take even more from them, so we could take a good portion of their empire and probably just feed it to a couple vassals, Tunis and perhaps Syria. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. We will be back decently soon. Have a great day.